Like always, I'll start with a quick synopsis of our last performance. Like I said after the game, just really proud of the guys. We got contributions from a lot of places. And, this journey that is a season always presents you with adversity. And what is adversity for some is an opportunity for others. And we talk openly about it, but it goes beyond just talking openly about it. I think you got to create an environment where guys get an opportunity to prepare for those moments. And so it's really cool to see the end result of that. Some guys been preparing behind the scenes for extended period of time in some instances and getting an opportunity to stand and deliver for us big in moments. Guys like Tevin Jones, I thought that ball he caught down the seam was a significant one. That's a guy that's been, working hard on our practice squads for a number of years. And even, less subtle stories, guys like Robert Spillane, who's been a practice squad guy and has been elevated in recent weeks and has been a consistent contributor for us on our coverage units. So it was a team effort, and for that I'm thankful. But that's the type of effort you need this time of year. And we recognize what time of year it is. It's December football. We'll be judged not by Sunday's performance, but by our ability to rise up in the face of adversity continually this month. And so we got to get recentered and refocused on our next challenge, which is the Arizona Cardinals, man, and I prep for that because, man, all of these opportunities are significant. If you look at us from a health standpoint, we're getting better in that area. The two significant ones, though, we still don't have a lot of clarity. James Conner and Juju, I'd probably characterize both guys as questionable as I stand here today. They got some work in front of them in terms of rehabilitation and maybe practice participation, and we'll see where all of that leads. I really just don't have an indication of what that might be as I sit here today. I saw both guys down in the training room yesterday and working hard. We'll see what the practice availability looks like. Connor's probably got a better chance to practice in some capacity tomorrow than Juju, but again, we'll take it day by day and see where it leads us. Whether they participate or not, our standard of expectation will be the same. We'll work those that are preparing and work to put them in position to make plays, and we'll expect those guys to do it. If you look back at the Cleveland game, I thought a significant chain of events that I didn't mention post-game was a sequence leading up to halftime and then how we came out of the locker room. We always have a desire to bookend halftime, as we call it, with a strong finish to the first half and a strong start to the second half. But I thought it was, really solid in all three phases, working collectively together on Sunday. We hit a big play on a third down where we worked the cadence to James Washington. We turned that into a field goal drive. The defense took the field, got a 3-and-out. And then our offense was able to navigate down the field via the 2-minute. And largely, I thought Duck did an awesome job of taking care of the football, but that was one instance where he needed to be aggressive and work the ball down the field, and he did and was able to take care of the ball. We were able to score, and then we were able to go in at halftime, and then we got the ball to start the second half, and we were able to drive the field again. I thought that sequence of events, 17 points or what have you, was significant in terms of how the game unfolded and really was pivotal in terms of the overall trajectory of the second half, which allowed us to rush them and allow guys like Bud and TJ to do what it is they do. Now we transition to Arizona, getting familiar with those guys and the challenges that they present. First, just the venue. Going on the road, man, is something that we respect, particularly when you're working with a young cube. Duck will be our quarterback again this week. He's performed well in hostile environments, but he just doesn't have a big sample size. Like what I saw in L.A., I like what I saw in the second half in Cincinnati, but, he'll be moving now into his roughly seventh quarter of road work. We respect it. We got to prepare that way in preparation for our offensive unit. We got to, work on our divisional labor. We still got a young back that's getting the bulk of the carries right now, and Benny Snell, and getting to know him, like how he's finishing some games and showing demeanor. But we just got to put together a good plan in that regard. We better be able to run the ball, because if we're not, guys like Chandler Jones and Suggs are going to take the game over. If you look at Arizona, man, you're talking about their defense. It starts with those two guys. I can't say enough about Suggs and, his body of work over the time that he's played in this league. And Chandler Jones is the league leader in sacks. Both guys are extremely ball aware, guys that force fumbles, guys that not only sack the quarterback but dislodge the ball. So we're going to have to be able to run the ball. We can't start slow like we did against Cleveland and be down 10 points. Then you're tipping the scales in their favor. And those two guys, 55 and 56, will seize the day if we do that. So those are some of the beginning discussions in terms of sizing up the matchup, at least in that area of play. Got a lot of respect for what Jordan Hicks is putting on tape, man. This guy is highly productive. He's over 100 tackles. He's got interceptions. He's got sacks. He plays a well-rounded game sideline to sideline at the linebacker level, and really impressed with 32 Buda Baker at the safety level. This is a guy that plays in deep middle, plays in half field, plays in the box, and blitzes and plays man-to-man. Every tape you turn on, man, he's kind of the heartbeat of that group. He's also over 100 tackles. So you better work to minimize those two edge guys. You better stop some of the volume tackling that occurs with Jordan Hicks and Buda Baker, and it kind of starts there for us. On the other side of the ball, man, it's about Murray. And, man, he's got some impressive tape. For a young guy, he's really doing an awesome job of taking care of the football and under adverse circumstances. They're 3-8-1 or whatever they are, man, and so they've been behind in some games. But as a unit, they've only turned the ball over 9 times all season. I think he's got 6 interceptions, and they collectively have fumbled the ball 3 times. So, some of the things that we've been able to hang our hat on and keep us in some ball games, particularly of late, the turnover, we just better not anticipate that being available to us in this game based on his and their body of work in terms of ball security. So we can't get behind like we've been behind the last 2 weeks and think we're going to get second half turnovers and get back into this football game based on the way that they've performed. They've done an awesome job, and he has done an awesome job of preserving and protecting the ball, a really unique thing for a young quarterback in those circumstances. They got a really talented backfield. Recently acquired Drake. We were preparing to play him when we were preparing to play the Dolphins, but the trade went down right hours or so, I guess, before the game. So we're familiar with his skill set. David Johnson's a guy that we have a lot of respect for, both in the backfield and outside the backfield. Got a wide variety of people that he spreads the ball around to. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Larry Fitzgerald. I just got a lot of respect for Larry, not only in terms of what he's capable of, but what he's done, what he means to this game, the way he stands for the game of football, the example that he is for all of us in this business and just us in general. He's just a quality human being and a big-time competitor, a guy that's got a gold jacket-like career, man. I just, always got a high level of respect, and am never surprised when I turn the tape on and watching him being a significant contributor to his team's efforts. And it's on this tape in 2019. So we got our work cut out for us. Look forward to getting these guys back in the building tomorrow and starting the physical preparation process. We're doing so as a coaching staff as we speak. Be happy to address any questions you might have.
Coach, there's an old adage that defense wins championships. Your defense is leading the league in several categories right now. What do you have to do to get Duck up to the next level to make a championship run this year?
I'm just trying to win a game this week, to be honest with you. I hadn't thought a lot about it, so I probably don't have an appropriate answer to your question. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do with Duck this week to get out of this stadium.
Attention, is Coach Fitch giving him more attention to coach him up to get him to the next level?
We give him the attention that a starter, appropriately deserves, but we're not giving him any additional attention. I had this conversation with someone after the game. I'm thoughtful about my interactions with people. We always say the right things, but do our actions match our words? I told Duck I had a lot of confidence in his abilities and his preparation and his talents. I wanted to display that confidence by not talking him to death, not having a bunch of additional meetings and things of that nature. I wanted to display that confidence by going about our routine. Not only confidence in him, but confidence in our preparation process, how we go about our business of game prep. So it hadn't been a whole bunch of the things that you mentioned. He's a starting quarterback. We're interacting with him in the ways that we interact with a starting quarterback in preparation for a game.
Mike, did you get any clarification from the league on the touchback and what was or wasn't challengeable there?
I didn't ask. I just don't have time for that. I'm moving on. It's December. The next challenges are the most significant ones.
Mike, developing synergy with James Washington, going hunting and that sort of thing, do you think that's also going to just create a more symbiotic atmosphere for all the players so that they'll be closer, maybe they'll perform better?
Our guys spent a lot of time together on the field and off. I know that hunting trip probably garnered some attention because of the recent rise of both guys, but that's not unusual behavior for those guys or any of our guys in terms of players' day off or after hours, man. You cannot be legitimately close unless you have a general appreciation and understanding and respect for one another, and you gain that by working together and by spending informal time together. We encourage our guys to do all of the above.
You called that a victory for team. What did you mean by that? How significant is that to your efforts this season?
It just means that, when you're faced with adversity, particularly in terms of, significant components or contributors, that it doesn't define you, that football is the ultimate team game. We try to live that out every day, and when guys step up and deliver, it's just verification of it.
Regardless of Connor's health, has Snell shown he's maybe deserving of a bigger role or can handle more as part of this offense?
He's done a nice job with the opportunities given, yes. Appreciative of his efforts and excited about not only what he's doing for us, but where it could lead.
What makes you happy with how your team, since that first Cleveland game, has done when it comes to pass rush lanes and smart, effective team pass rushes, as you alluded to a couple weeks ago? Did that get better these last 2 weeks, and how does that apply against Kyler Murray?
It got better in stages, man. We let him get out on the first drive of the game, and that's when he completed that ball to Landry on the sideline that they challenged and won. We'll be continually working to rush and contain quarterbacks, particularly mobile ones, and obviously we're faced with a significant challenge this week. It's a challenge because of how we rush. We're aggressive, and we're going to get after it, and we're going to come. But the reality is that you got to go hard and smart when you have guys with the escapability of Murray. And so we're looking to strike that delicate balance with being aggressive and smart, and we're going to continue.
Does Murray run more than Baker, or does he similarly to Baker run to?
Oh, he runs a heck of a lot more than Baker Mayfield. This guy is their leading rusher. This guy leads the Arizona Cardinals in rushing. He's a dangerous guy. Baker Mayfield extends plays. This guy, they got design runs, he extends plays, and then he also gets chunks of yards via his legs.
Mike, what are the challenges of taking particularly a young quarterback on the road?
Just some of the things, the communication issues associated with environments. It's tough for a veteran quarterback in hostile environments to execute the necessary communication in the allotted time with people and so forth, to just handle the things that need to go on prior to the snapping of the football. It gets doubly challenging when you lack experience in that area. So it's really a natural challenge, one that you overcome by living and playing. And so we acknowledge that it's an issue. We'll work our tails off to prepare him in every way that we can for it, and he'll do that. But ultimately, he'll get better just by doing.
What does it do for Duck and for this team to get Marquise Pouncey back this week?
He's our captain. And he's our captain. He's a quality player. He's a leader on and off the field. And so it's significant.
Were you able to diagnose what the problem was with the false start penalties? Or was it one thing, or was it different things?
Just negligence on our part. We got to be better. We got to be better there. It was catastrophic almost to our efforts in a lot of instances. We're trying to run the clock out, and we're getting false starts, putting ourselves in challenging possession down in distances. It was not good. That's one area of play that needs to improve, pre-snap penalties on both sides of the ball for us.
Do you think the atmosphere Devlin will face will be different than the Chargers, because that was almost like a home environment crowd?
I have no idea. I hadn't thought a lot about it. I know generally when we go out west, man, Steeler Nation shows up, and so I won't be surprised when they do.
Mike, have you been impressed with how both Rudolph and Hodges have done when coming back from deficits? It seems like when a defense might expect throws to be happening, they have done some of their best work. You have Is that coincidence? Is that hard work, diligence on their part? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. All of these guys are playing at this level because they have that in them, the ability to rise up in the face of adversity, the ability to capture moments. So that doesn't surprise me. But also, we work extremely hard in situational football, not only with our first units, but with all our units. You guys are in training camp with us. You see how much 2-minute and things of that nature we do. It's almost daily because we want to not only acquire guys with that ability and mentality, but we want to train them also.
Can you share any memories you have of A.Q. Shipley and with how impressed you are with the longevity of his career?
Man, I can't, to be honest with you. It's been so long. Man, that's been 10 years. Kudos to him, though, man. He's put together a heck of a career.
Coach, would you define that as James Washington's breakout game?
No, I'd like to think those type moments lie ahead, those significant moments. He made some plays, no doubt, but a breakout game, I got visions of what a breakout game looks like, and that's pretty rare air.
For another guy, do you think Deontay Johnson's kind of working through that tough part of the season for a rookie? He hasn't been as productive. It seemed like there were some teachable moments for him.
I don't know that it's a tough part of the season. I just think it's the season itself. When you're a young guy, each and every week you're presented with challenges, and particularly as you get on this side of Thanksgiving, man, it's uncharted territory for a guy from Toledo. But he's done a good job, and we've been thoughtful about the management of him over the course of the journey. He'll have gas in the tank for December, and we'll utilize it.
Joe Hayden made it known that you personally meet with the linebackers and DBs twice a week. For how long have you been doing that, and what does that do for you?
Years. So nothing new and interesting there.
If there's one area to work with on Devlin, is it late game situations when it comes to throwing the ball away versus taking a sack?
Man, there's so many areas that we need to work with Devlin on. Pick it, but specifically those moments you mentioned, certainly, because they're weighted differently, they're heavy. It's when you got to start taking calculated risks oftentimes in pursuit of victory. And so there is going to be some risk maybe associated with some of those moments. And how do you balance that? It's just things that he's going to learn and we're going to learn in terms of managing him along the way, and hopefully we don't get any negativity in the process.
Like the last couple of weeks, you went away with the true nose tackle. Is that just a scheme that you like, or is that based on the personnel available to you now?
Some of it is offensive personnel. They're working in a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, so we're in sub-package ball. That's just the nature of today's game, largely.
Last week that he was playing with he had nothing to lose. Can that help him play more aggressively in some of those late game situations?
I'll let him answer that. I don't like to speculate about the mentality of guys. I like his demeanor in those moments, and he's steady Eddie. He's the same guy that he always is, and you appreciate that.
How do you evaluate Hargrave's play this year, especially since Tuitt has gone out?
He's been really solid, particularly in terms of answering the bell, in terms of getting other additional rush opportunities, but not that we're surprised by that. He displayed that a year ago in a similar circumstance. So we look forward to him being a hot contributor for us here as we push through December.
Like you flipped TJ and Bud a couple of times, thought behind that, why?
They do it interchangeably sometimes. Both guys have played on the other side of the ball. We just flip them. They're interchangeable in an effort to keep people off balance and to give them something to think about.
Does that come from the booth at the sideline, or is that them?
What's that?
This isn't a switch. Is that something?
It is pretty fluid. They're mirrored positions.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Coach, a couple words you used throughout this press conference: adversity and challenges. With a myriad of injuries and shuffling players from the practice squad to the active roster, from a coach's standpoint, what goes into your players to help keep them focused? And many times, they're going in and out of games bloody and unbound.
For us, we love football. We acknowledge that. We work at it. Football's our game, but our job is to win. And so regardless of circumstance, we got a job to do. And so we openly talk about that, and then we go to work.
Anyone else? All right.
Thank you, guys.